story starts out on a cold, cold January night in the winter time when I was driving along I-5 in Oregon. I was cruising along, I said, rolling along at 55, that's the new speed limit that Governor Tom McCall and Richard Nixon had set. You remember Nixon, he's our president. So I was trucking along and I heard the news down in Eugene that there was a big hassle about getting gasoline. And that didn't bother me none because I knew I was a lucky son of a gun, and I just knew if I kept my fingers crossed, my toes crossed, teeth crossed, hair, eyes, arms, and legs crossed, and if I could still drive then, a gas station would come along, pull up alongside my car and say, I'll fill it up. But then I was heading into Portland, and I started to think that maybe the gas gauge, maybe my very own little gasoline needle on the dashboard of my 57 Chevy was nearly empty. And it was dark and cold and lonely, and so dark and cold and lonely and dark and cold, and those dark, lonely nights can get that way in Oregon, my friend. I wasn't about to find myself walking all the way to Portland, and I remembered I had a gas can in the back seat of my 57 Chevy. That gas hogged, but it was empty, because I had helped out some poor guy the day before who ran out of gas on I-5 just cruising along at 55, doing just like the rest of us good citizens, you know. Well, you know, I don't have to tell you that things started to get a bit tense inside the car with just me in the car, and I started to feel the nerves stand up on the end of the hairs of the back of my neck, and I was almost out of the precious liquid when I gazed down the road. Saw a sign, and it was all lit up the way signs are at night now that the sign ban was lifted in Oregon, and the big old sign was red, white, and blue just like my eyes from driving all night. The sign read Alice's Truck Stop. So I pulled my car over, made it to the pumps, passing along the way all those big diesel rigs that often frequent them truck stops, and the attendant came up, and I said to the attendant when he rolled up to the window, and I rolled the window down and said, fill her up. And he smiled a bit and said, you got it, sir. And I got my spare gas can and my car filled up, got my windows washed for 50 cents, got my oils checked for a quarter, my tire checked for a dime. All he did was give him a good kick. Got my nails checked, my ears checked, and for $3 got a quick manicure when the attendant handed me my bill for $16.35, which was a lot of bread just to fill up the tank of my 57 Chevy. But like I said, it was cold and dark, just like those nights in Oregon. You know how those nights in Oregon are, friend. And I rolled out of there with a full tank of gas, an empty wallet, and continued on my journey. So now if anyone ever asks me where I get my gas, I tell them, you can get all the gas you want at Alice's Truck Stop.
You can get all the gas you want at Alice's Truck Stop. Sing once again. You can get all the gas you want at Alice's Truck Stop.